Subscribe to Get Curried and click on the bell icon for more updates.
Hey guys, welcome to my holiday menu exclusively on Get Curried. Well, today I'm showing you a classic, well not a classic, it's my style of chicken cacciatore. Let's begin. Well, chicken cacciatore for the uninitiated is hunter style Italian chicken, and there are two classic styles of making it. Of course, there's a North Italian style and there's a South Italian style. Well, this one, because it's my style and the way I like making, this is a mix of Italian, which is North and South. Well, this is a cut that I personally use whenever I'm making a chicken cacciatore because I like it that way. It's a combination of chicken thigh and drumstick, and all you need to do is snip off half an inch towards the beginning or towards the end, however you call it, and you also kind of remove a little bit of the cartilage. What happens in this case is the leg kind of pulls away from the bone and it kind of creates like a lump, and that looks amazing while you plate it. And because it's a festive celebration menu, you need to do a little bit of that hard work. Well, there's a detailed recipe. Well, it's not a recipe, it's a way of making it or cutting it, and that's there in the description box below. You click on the link and that'll straight take you to how I reached or derived to this cut. The next step is to marinate this in red wine. The next is to add in some chili flakes, and that is purely as per your preference or the preference of your family. I'm going to salt this, of course, and to this some freshly cracked black pepper. The next is to, of course, add in some flavoring or some herb. I'm using fresh oregano or oregano, and to this I'm also adding in cloves or fresh garlic. The next step is to rub all of this, or rather dunk it. If you can preferably keep it overnight, well, nothing like it. Push this all in, cover this and keep this in the refrigerator, minimum an hour. Let's do that. The chicken is of course marinated for a little while. Let's pull out the chicken legs like so. Keep it on a plate. You can let some of the herbs and the spices of course stick to it, and that's just about perfect. This wine, of course you're not supposed to throw it because we're going to use it later, but for now let's keep it aside. The next step is to pat the chicken leg completely dry. And if you see closely, the chicken has absorbed a beautiful burgundy color, and that's only from the wine, which is required for this. Once the chicken leg is patted dry and ready, the next is to dredge some flour on a plate, and we season this with just a little bit of salt, and this is also called seasoned flour. While only and only if you want, you can of course also add in some cracked pepper, and this is completely optional. The next is to dredge the chicken in the seasoned flour, press it like this, and keep this aside. Well, this dredging is actually going to help in two ways. One is to get that nice golden brown crust on the outside, and secondly, because of course the flour is going to get toasted in oil while we fry the chicken, it's also going to work as a thickener for the sauce, and that's extremely important. Let's move on to heating a flame, of course on high, and in this you can use a stock pot, a cauldron, a pan, anything of your choice. And the first thing that goes in is some extra virgin olive oil. And before this kind of begins to heat up, I'm going to start placing in the dredged chicken legs. I deliberately wanted you to start at a low flame because I want the heat to gradually kind of increase and get a nice crisp crust on the outside, and that's where we flip it and we give it a golden crust on the other side as well. This idea is not to cook the chicken, it's only to give it a nice golden crust on the outside. Once we reach there, we'll move ahead. After a minute of searing, of course on medium to high flame, we give it a flip and allow it to turn golden brown on the other side as well. Well, there's a very thin line between getting it golden brown in color and getting it burnt. Ensure that it does not get burnt because that will change the complete flavor and get that bitterness in the cacciatore, which is not at all required. When the chicken legs sear on the other side as well, we'll add in button mushrooms. Well, because it's a hunter style recipe, you do not really get into cutting, chopping and slicing. It's all just kind of roughly cut or roughly toned. Along with this, I'm also going to add in roughly or thickly sliced onions. Well, if you can lay your hands on shallots, you can just peel them and throw them in. To this, let's add in some salt and pepper just for basic seasoning. And allow this to just wilt lightly. Once the mushrooms and the onions just kind of begin to get a golden brown color, we'll add in the sweet peppers and just pull out the seeds and just stir this roughly like so. At this stage, I'm also going to pull out the garlic from the wine, and that has been soaking beautifully for quite some time now. Let that also kind of get a little golden brown, because that will also add into the taste. After a minute or so, let's add in fresh tomato puree. Along with this, the remaining oregano. I'm adding in a generous sprinkling of chopped parsley. Along with this, chili flakes, the wine. Finally to this, we need to add in either chicken stock or water. That's just like a cupful. Cover this and allow this to cook gloriously for 35 minutes on medium to low flame. And you can alternately also cook this in an oven at 200 degrees Celsius for 40 minutes. With this, our chicken cacciatore is done and ready. Off goes the flame. And there is chicken cacciatore, of course, ready to go straight on the dinner table. You can serve this, of course, with mashed potatoes, with steamed rice, with brown rice, with onion rice, garlic bread, just a crusty bread. That's a complete personal choice. Throw in some fresh parsley. With this, you have the most amazing, stunning, and fantastic chicken cacciatore, which is done and ready. On that note, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to Get Curried. And for more such stunning recipes, stay tuned.